Hello.
There you go. Okay, I got it. How you doing tonight,
Thanks.
fam?
I'm good. I'm gonna be driving for like the next 10 minutes if that's okay.
Yeah, you're good, man. We're doing this. You're the first one we're doing with this StreamYard thing, so I appreciate you doing this with us, man. When Sincere
Sure.
suggested your name, I was excited because we go way back. But to get started, let's go ahead and tell the people who you are and where you're from.
My name is Matthew M. Markov. Originally born in Toledo, Ohio. Grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana. Current resident of Los Angeles, California. Driving 100 miles an hour while doing an interview because safety first. Um, I'm a rap artist. I am a A&R. I am a rap executive. I'm a legal administrator. I'm an events producer and all things in between. And that's me.
Now, now, how did you get started in the music industry? I know you started as an artist, but for people who's not familiar with your story, let's give them a little bit of behind the scenes of how you got started and what were some of your early experiences.
Sure. In middle school is when I started rapping, just freestyling stuff. But in Ohio, it's called junior high. In Indianapolis, it's called middle school. And a lot of people I knew were in bands. And I liked playing bass guitar, but no one I knew rapped when I was like 12, 13 years old. So discovered quick that I was really good at freestyling. And then when I went to high school, would freestyle battle people in the commons like every day, every week until I was 16 and put my first tape together. When I say tape, I'm talking cassette tape. This is 1997, 98-ish.
Okay,
And
yeah,
literally would record these cassette tapes using like Jack and Beats and recording on like karaoke machines, and then eventually went to Best Buy and put a couple $100 towards like a Sonic Foundry Acid program and using my parents' computer with a nice little like $20 mic, and was making tapes that way until so literally would not leave high school every day until I made at least $100 selling tapes for between $5 and $10 a pop in the commons. And I did the same thing all throughout high school to college. But my senior year of high school is when they started having the CD burner, like computers with CD burners. So graduated from
okay,
tapes to CDs, and then made a lot of money with the CDs, and then discovered that there was actually manufacturing plants in Indiana. But of course, when I was in high school, I never just had like extra $5,000-$10,000. So it was kind of like use all the free resources you can. I always had enough because $100 a day to go and buy more tapes, to make
yeah,
copies, and I'd have to double them like one at a time. And even with my first experience with CD burners, like didn't know that you'd get the same quality. You didn't have to have like a master version. You could burn a copy from the master, then take that copy and put in another CD. Because our computer lab in high school had like eight computers with the burners. But graduated from doing it myself, and then like affixing the stickers to them and making my own covers and whatnot, to getting professional replicators to do the CDs. And 2003, started. I was doing concerts all over Indiana, but in 2003, I had a release party for my second album called Snakes in the Garden of '80. It was at a club called The Cube downtown Indianapolis. And I sold that out by myself. There was like 700 some people there, $5 a pop. First live concert I ever did. I'm walking plus $3,000. It was amazing. Then they brought various members of Wu-Tang. They're promoting the show at the Cube, and I got contacted like, "Hey, do you want to be on these dates?" They didn't even know like Wu-Tang is my favorite group in the world. So I agreed to
okay,
do both
yeah,
the dates because they figured if they weren't going to sell out on their own, like it's with me, doing ground promo and the whole nine. And they were right. So I met the tour manager. I got to meet from that show Kill Priest, Love the Dark Man, Capadonna, Remedy, Solomon Childs, a few other people. And the same tour manager, Marty Diamond, who did that tour, ended up doing all these other tours for like Method Man and Jizza and Ghost. And I would do a couple dates on each of these tours while I was in college. And that's how I really met everyone in Wu-Tang Clan until I did a show in Chicago at the Metro with Jizza and met Dreddy Kruger. And Dreddy had told me that him and RZA were going to start this new record label called Think Differently Music. It was going to be like a Wu-Tang offshoot label. I became the A&R administrator and A&R of Think Differently Music, and we did Wu-Tang Meets the Indie Culture, which was my, like, at the time, my pride and joy. This is in 2004. The album came out in 2005. That album went on to be the second highest selling independent album of the year across all genres of music, not just rap. The only album that sold more than that was MF Doom and Danger Mouse, called Danger Doom. They had unlimited free television promotions from Adult Swim, so there's no way we could compete with that. Plus, that album's amazing anyway, so it deserves to be number one. But Wu-Tang Meets Indie Culture is regarded as a cult classic to this day, made well over $1 million. Now, what led me to go from working with, I still work with, I work with artists who hire me every day, but I worked specifically for that label. I don't think I was paid justly. So that being said, I was like, I'm gonna build my own company, and therefore I started Holy Toledo Productions, and got lots of clients based off the success of Wu-Tang Indie Culture. So that one album, which still, I still, like, people still write me to the day, like, this was incredible, it turns 20 in 2025. Led me to clients like Redman, Cannabis, other members of Wu-Tang Clan, Crooked Eye, Planet Asia, Us Kingpin, Corrupt, The Horseman, you name it. So that one album, my first album I A&R'd was in 2025, and now in 2024, I've A&R'd well over 200 albums. I've had 46 or 47 Billboard Top 100 in rap. I've had, I think, 22, 23 Gold and Platinum RIA certifications for the likes of Eminem, Wu-Tang Clan, Tech 9, E40, Valet, NLE Choppa, ASAP Rocky, and others.
It's amazing.
So I kind of wore the A&R hat and never looked back. I still get my artistry in every now and again, but it's very far and few where I feel like making an M80 album or an Almighty album, or
When you look back now, that chance meeting at the Cube when you got the opportunity to do the Wu-Tang, was there any kind of people hating on that situation, or anybody telling you not to do it, or that it was a waste of time, or
no?
And how do you always?
Go ahead. Sorry.
And I was just going to say, how do you always go against what everybody else does? Like, I've known you for a very long time, and you changed the game so many different ways. What are some of your thought process to allow you to make those moves?
It's like coming from the Midwest and coming from Indiana specifically, when I was popping as an artist, there was like 4 or 5 artists that were popping, and the number one mainstay was the Mud Kids. So, I didn't know them at the time. Me and Rusty are good friends now. We have all these years of experience under both our belts. But at the time, any negativity I would hear was from, like, people that wanted to do what I was doing, or artists that were coming up as well and, like, weren't getting the looks. They weren't working as hard. So I never gave into, like, anything anyone else had to say, because it felt right to me every time. And plus, artists have it different now. Like, I was getting paid every time I performed, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 shows I ever did in Indianapolis in a decade. Like, I was averaging $2,500, $3,500 a show every time, because that's the beauty of, like, these clubs that were, like, all ages, and, like, the Cube was like 18 plus. And as a college student, I could promote on campus. I was able to sell my CDs, and I was giving a kickback every month to student organizations. Like, I worked it out with the administrators at IUPUI, so I wouldn't get harassed by, like, security and police and stuff. But the beauty was, it's like, I felt what I was doing was right at all times. And, the best pieces that have helped mold my development as an artist, as an A&R, and my company, were the times I felt like I was taken advantage of. And that wasn't people telling me, like, not to do shit. That was trial and error. Like, I felt it was right, and even though I was shaded on money and maybe future opportunity, it led me to build Holy Toledo Productions, to where I have my system exactly how I wanted to. And I'm not going to steal from me. I'm not going to shade me, So it all worked out for the best. Like, there was a couple other situations like Wu-Tang Indie Culture where, I put in the work and I did not feel like I was compensated accordingly, or I was told one thing and, shown another. But people get real funny when it comes to, the business, and it helped me Like from college, I went to law school specifically, not with the intention of becoming an attorney, but to be a master in the business of music and understand everything that goes into the administrative side of the business of music.
Do people really understand all
I
that?
definitely, well, I'll say this before we go on. I definitely remember when I started working with Wu-Tang, like as an artist and paying for features. People are like, oh, they're working with you because you're paying them. I'm like, bro, I wouldn't go to your job and ask for free shoes or free fucking food or free anything. Like, I knew then I'm going to pay for these services now. So when people need me for my services, which remember, it was always more than just being a rapper. I always knew, even before I started making rap albums, that I was going to transition into the executive. I learned that from when I was 13, reading stories about artists selling millions of records, but not having money. Like, but the people behind the business of the music seem to always be like financially well off. So I knew that if I'm paying these people now, cool, I'm accomplishing my artist dreams. Like I've made songs with damn near everyone I ever wanted to make it. If there was anyone that now I could, I'm that resourceful now and that much more, like famous or experienced. I've played and I've performed live in every state in America, several countries overseas. I've had 4 of my own albums on the Billboard charts. I have won a Guinness World Record. So it's like, there's nothing anyone could tell me that would take away from this history of my artistry. And I don't confuse the two. I know that my success as an A&R is not synonymous to my success as an artist. Like I don't mix the two together, but I have success stories for each one of those rungs on the ladder.
And that's why I wanted to highlight that for you, Matey, because we know you today as the A&R extraordinaire. You work with a lot of artists. You help a lot of artists. But I want to let them know you're a successful artist on your own right. You were packing shows by yourself. Sure. You were doing all these things. Yep. So when you're telling them to get out here and get on the grind, you're speaking from a standpoint of I did it myself. And then also I want to highlight.
I played in front of 17,000 people one time.
You got to get Guinness
Book of World Records. That was my biggest shit, like as me.
For freestyling and giving back. So let's highlight that story a little bit. Like what went into your mind and how did this opportunity come to go for Guinness Book of World Records? And what made you choose
in 2003, maybe 2002, at IUPUI in my senior seminar. It was like the African diaspora. And we learned that you could fund a school in Africa for about $12,000. Yeah. As the professor, Scott Pegg, is telling us this, I look down at my fucking Rolex and I'm like, I'm pretty sure my watch costs this or more. That being said, it kind of made you feel a way. Like you could build a school or you could be like, I got a cool watch. Now, I love watches. That's like my biggest thing. Watches, shoes, all that shit. Like I sold my shoe collection when I had my daughter. So like I had a whole like a finish line damn near my house. We ended up selling that room for like 140 grand at the end of the day, and I kept my favorite like 20 pairs. But hearing that information resonated with me like 5-6 years later when I was like, I am going to break this record. And it's because I finished law school in San Francisco. I was supposed to take a job with Def Jam in New York, and they had hundreds of layoffs. They merged the AD and A&R department, so essentially all the new hirings were let go or froze. And then they even laid off, like I said, tons of people that already had the job. So I repositioned myself back to Indiana, established Holy Toledo Productions, and I was just really getting tired with hearing from other rappers that because I now lived in Indiana again, like we were all the same, like we're all local. Like I'm not local. Like I've had nationwide, worldwide accomplishments. I was tired of the girl I was dating and her friends. She was a hairdresser. All her friends were hairdressers. Like, oh, you're dating a rapper. I'm dating like a real estate developer. I'm dating a da-da-da-da-da. Like, bitch, I got a fucking doctorate. Like, Like I could, if I wasn't making this financially work for me as a rap artist or an A&R executive, I could become an attorney. Then you wouldn't be laughing. You'd be like, oh, he's an attorney. I'm both things. See, I just wear all these different hats. So I got so fed up with everyone just lumping me in like we're all the same, like just because we all live in the same city. I'm like, I'm going to break a Guinness World Record, and it's going to be acknowledged on a worldly scale. Like places when I broke the record, like CNN and like Fox News and every hip hop media base you could name, all covered it. And I did it for charity. I did that because, that separates you as a white man from like, oh, he's just a culture vulture. Like I did it to fund a school in Africa. So I have a clear-cut case of building on to hip-hop culture. 2,000 students a year get to go to school, secondary, like second grade up to like graduating, like through high school. And you know, most people that you ask, what have you contributed to hip hop? Oh man, well, I sold this, or I like, no, that's not what we're talking about. What have you done to really build on the culture? And I have a definitive answer to that now. And like I thought, after breaking the world record, I didn't make any money doing it. But then every time someone wanted an M80 feature, prices up. Every time someone wanted to book a show, prices up. After I broke the world record, I was booked to perform in Switzerland at a festival with like 100,000 some people, but I was on the smaller stage and shit. So I was like, damn, man, like all the big stages were like 80,000, 90,000 people at a time. I was on the stage for like 1,000 people. Like, all right, it's so cool. But, you know, in foreign countries and just doing the shit. And I got to then politic with all my, you know, rappers and get to like all my like rappers I grew up listening to. I'm the Guinness World Record holder, freestyle. Oh, rap something for me, like. And then same reason why I started producing events. It wasn't for the money. It was to build my network of what I'm going to do with these artist relationships as an A&R, and as I develop more and more albums, as I'm brokering record deals, as I'm brokering features, like anything and everything.
That's amazing. Now, you also, you know, we have a common friend, mentor on our end, DJ Indiana Jones. You know, rest in peace to him.
Yes.
So I want to highlight, how did you two meet, and well, how did you guys get to become this power team together and doing all this amazing stuff for Indiana? Like, people have no clue all the things you guys did behind the scenes, but I want to highlight both of you at this moment, and you know, tell the story how you guys met.
I'm going to lead off with this, and this will be a nice, like, you know how DJ Vlad posts all those fucking hype like captions and shit to get you for clickbait. I'm dedicating the Rakim Presents project in memoriam of DJ Indiana Jones. So, you know, I told the family that, like, and that was my goal to do that when we first signed the deal to do the Rakim project like 4 years ago.
Wow.
So I met Jones. I'd only ever performed at venues downtown. Jones and I met. He's like, I heard about you. I heard you're doing all these clubs. Like, you're putting good numbers. I promote shows in Broad Ripple. That's how we met. So he put me on my first ever show, and I swear to God, I have this poster somewhere. It's either with me in LA or my parents' house in Indy. I have a poster from the first Crush Entertainment show I ever did, signed by everyone: Jones, me, Rhymefest, Madlib. Or not Madlib, sorry, Mad Lab.
Yeah.
And like, I want that so bad to frame it. I mean, because like, you know, everyone's got pictures of Jones, but for some reason I just really wanted his autograph, like at that time. Yeah. From there, he just knew I had this like humongous ambition. And like, I would be out on the weekends in Broad Ripple still selling CDs on the street in front of bars. Like, he'd call me sometimes like, yo, man, you were like harassing the fuck out of some of my friends to buy your shit. I'm like, did they buy it? He's like, yeah, because to get you to fucking leave. I'm like, sweet, I bet they're going to love it. He's like, tone it down. Then he was representing Rhymefest. And like, in my eyes, he's responsible for the Rhymefest success. I don't care about the Kanye shit. I don't care about, you know, like Jones was the one who hooked him up with Ronson. Got the All I Do deal done, got the Jive deal done, and then Fest ended up shading him. But you know, it took a lot of Ron's courage to like forgive and forget kind of thing. And I'm not a forgive and forget guy. Like, when I go back home, I definitely am like, I remember when you talk shit, you talk shit, you talk shit. Like, I'm that kind of guy. But Ron just kept building Crush Entertainment and producing the events and working different projects and bringing people up. And I took, like, after that mold, like, on a, you know, I won't even say a grander scale, you know, out of respect, but like, I just wanted to like mirror him. And we weren't like best friends, like hang out and talk every day. But when we did talk, when we did hang, it fucking counted, you know, like I talked to my actual best friends like 2-3 times a year.
Yeah. Now, we know Indiana Jones had a big part in Crease Festival, you know, and you were integral in the very beginning of that as well. What is your thoughts right now on the recent changes they've announced, or anything about what they're doing or what's going on now that Jones isn't a part of it?
I have no idea what they're doing. Like, so I'll tell you like this. I moved from Indy to LA in 2013. I still promoted concerts. Holy Toledo Productions and the Alliance still produced hella concerts, like 70 some from 2008 to 2017, but like at least 30 from 2013 to 2017 after I moved. Live Nation eventually got tired of having to deal with me in LA when they needed people. Like I had my street team in place, marketers, the whole nine. But when they were wanting to yell at me, like they're not, yelling at someone on the phone isn't like yelling at them in their face. So that's when I passed the torch to Oreo Jones and Treese and them. I don't know what the people are doing right now for Treese, but I'm forever eternally grateful that Jones and Oreo, both Jones, Indiana Jones and Oreo Jones, gave me the opportunity to speak as the keynote speaker at Treese. And Razcast was on that year that I was the keynote speaker, and him and I had just gotten cool again. Like we hated each other for years, so that was really cool. Like I made sure he was good in the city, like all that.
I wanted to highlight because a lot of people think you're still here, but no, you don't live in Indiana. You don't have a footprint here as much as you used to, but you still are very integral. I know you helped Fresh Does It and Poindexter with Indiana artists from out here. What got your attention with those two artists, and what some of the things you guys have done together to continue to.
I'm going to expand on that question. I brokered record deals for Sun One, for Abe Links and Tully Cicero, for Jason Bain, for Rusty Redenbacher, for Fresh Does It, and Poindexter. And I think maybe a couple others. Who fucking knows? I've definitely put like 30, 40 some different indie artists on shows with the likes of Childish Gambino and MGK and Jeezy and Paul Wall and Slaughterhouse and fucking you name it, Juicy J, Travis Scott, like all them.
Before they were stars too, you had everybody early in the career.
Yeah. My biggest letdown of the indie people was when I signed Fresh Does It and Poindexter to do an album together, because Scoop Guala died, and that was like Poindexter's right hand man, and Poindexter moved to LA. And once Poindexter moved to LA, him and Fresh just were not working, If you got two people like for Abe and Tully that are a natural dynamic, rest in peace, Abe. And Abe is my greatest accomplishment of all the indie people.
Why do you say that? I want to highlight that. Why do you say Abe out of everybody? Because
Abe was so talented, dude.
No, you're good.
The most talented.
The same way.
He's the most talented. Him and Tully were an incredible duo, and I wouldn't have worked with one without the other. Now, if Tully, given the circumstances, wants to work, I'm here. But other than that, if I'm not already working with you and you're an indie, I'm not doing anything else for nobody. Like,
I've seen Tully. I don't. Sometimes, and he's still. I
don't care. I don't care what the circumstances of Abe's death are. Like, he was an extension of me. So it's like, y'all let someone touch me in my city. That's unforgivable. Oh, and I brokered a deal recently for a dude in South Bend, Indiana. And I did C-Mob with Gotti Mob and Corrupt. I did this dude named Omega Red, super producer, but boom bap, hip hop shit, dark shit. He's got an album coming out. We just brokered the deal this week with Coal Mine and Traffic. So I've planted mad fucking seeds. There's nothing left to prove. I've been there and done that. If you're an indie, you don't know who I am. That's just you being selectively special, like choosing not to know. That'd be like not knowing the origins of hip hop.
I want to highlight that a little bit because shout out to Just Jay from the Hype magazine. We're on her platform, and we're all from Indianapolis, and we're all recognized outside of our city, but they don't seem to give us the love, in the market. So I definitely can relate to that. No matter what we do, sometimes it just doesn't get acknowledged. But
that's just indie. That's why I made a post the other day. Like, look, I did far more than what Dame Dash will ever do for indie, but it's Dame Dash, and indie's so behind that they're looking at Dame Dash like it's still Jay-Z Dame Dash. Like, I already did all that shit, dude. Okay, now I want everyone to champion Dame Dash and get behind him, because Indiana doesn't understand that's the only way you collectively win. Okay, no one got behind Mud Kids when they were blown up. I watched them not get behind Rhymefest. I watched them not get behind Humvee and the Kleptos. These are all people that would have taken off. And when one takes off, then more A&Rs and executives come to the city. And then they literally, I used to get calls. Hey, do you have any artists from Chicago? No. I refer him to Andrew Barber. Hey, do you have any artists with face tats? No. Like when these people look for what's in the now. So say Indiana takes off and it's because Dame Dash helps blow up the girl. What's her name? Kitty?
Kitty, yeah.
Kitty Red. Let's say she blows up. Motherfucker, don't be so selfish that you're like, oh, it should have been me. It could be you next. Fucking wait your turn, play your cards, build your shit. Everyone's quote unquote independent. Drop material. Like my artist DZ that I've been working with for years, currently the #1 artist streaming in Brisbane, Australia. We have his album done. I got fucking Eminem on the intro of the dude's album. I got Onyx. I got members of Wu-Tang. I got fucking Royce. I got D12, all the shit. But the fan base isn't there. Okay, if we drop this shit now, it would not make the kind of money we need it to make. Therefore, because he's independent and whatever he does outside the album, which might be may or may I can't disclose, may or may not already be signed to a label, we can build the base. We can organically ensure that he has real followers, real fans. I got him on a 3-day tour coming up with Onyx. In Brisbane and Melbourne and Sydney. Like, it's not just about holding it down your locality, and everyone's so concerned with being the coolest motherfucker in indie, you forget that the world's bigger than that. And I always knew the world was bigger than that. So that's why when I toured with Wu-Tang, after I made that relationship, I wasn't just doing shows in Indy. I got to hit Kentucky and Cincinnati and Toledo and Columbus and New York and all like literally until I covered all of America. By the end of 2008, from 2003 to 2008, I did every state in America. Then after 2008, I was just repeating shit, you know. But Indy needs to understand, get behind, I don't care if it's Dick Ryan or however you view it, get behind whoever is fucking popping, get behind Fresh Does It, get behind Kitty Red, show your support for these people. So therefore, when they take off, the next executive comes, oh, well, Dame Dash found a winning model. Let's see, like, there's gold in these damn hills. Let's dig it. So Fresh,
I gotta salute DJ Watts and Dame Dash. You know, that's what we're doing. So what makes me excited about it is we're all a team with it, and we're gonna add. I'm definitely gonna have you involved. And Matey, I bring everybody I can to you because I know you stand on what you do, and you bring artists to monetization. You go from being an artist in the studio trying to make music to you get to M80. Pay your consultation fee, and now you can get merch, you can get store, you know, all these different things. For people who's not familiar with that end of it, what all do you give to artists? You know, I know the consultation fee and all that, but what's some of the things
when I start with a consultation? One, it's this, you know, some people are like, oh man, I just want to hire you. I got the money, blah, blah, blah. We always have to start with a consultation because just because you have the money doesn't mean shit to someone who has money. All right. Yeah. Now, when I didn't have money, oh, you got 10 grand, 5 grand, 7 grand, run it. It's not, we're not there anymore. Like where I'm a millionaire 10 times over. So that being said, start with a consultation. You pay the fee. It's $500. I send them the Q&A. They fill it out. I put together a program that's essentially 6 to 12 months. You follow this program, everything is going to better you, enrich you, increase you. That being said, it's increasing your social media analytics, your monthly listener count, your on Spotify, things of that nature. When you have products to sale, making more money, merch, physicals, the whole nine, getting show opportunities. All that shit is built in to the plan I'm going to create for you, in the social space. Then, if you hire me for any of my A&R services in the course of 365 days thereafter, I take the $500 you pay me and loop that into whatever the fee is for any future service. That's why I do it that way. If you see that what I told you for $500, and trust me, tons of people just pay me for the consult and they're like, I don't have that money, so I'm going to really milk the fuck out of this. I have an artist in Vegas that paid me for the consult about 3 months ago, has made over 30 grand since.
Wow.
His wife reached out to me like, my husband's cashing checks like he's never cashed before. Like he's buying the packs that me and Anno make, uploading them, fucking making his various EPs, his individual songs, and killing it. I think he has like 4 songs on the top 100 right now between the iTunes charts and Amazon charts. So he is clearly an example of someone that's putting in the work. Everyone wants the rewards without the work. That's like literally the definition of Naptown. Just give me some shit. Give me some praise. Fresh Does It should be bigger than he is, but like he suffers from follow through. A lot of people suffer from the follow through. Yeah. You got to communicate effectively. You have to work hard. That is it. It's literally not any more difficult than that. If you're willing to fucking make the moves, make them. People fuck with me because I say what I can do and do what I say, and my resume proves the work ethic. So you don't have to take it from me in real time. Believe in this document. Go do your research. Now I'm not the right fit for everyone. That's why another reason we have to start with the consultation. Say you make 100% commercial music, and I'm more of the hip hop A&R guy. I can refer you to someone. I refer tons of clients to Dorian Washington.
Yep. Dorian.
He's someone more in that vein that has more experience than me, far more accolades than me, and someone I admire. So I'm the furthest thing from a hater. It's like there's money to go around, there's opportunity to go around, like get in where you fit in kind of shit. I'm not going to take your money if I'm not the guy.
I can speak to that too, M.A., because like when we first started working together, when Jason Bain introduced us, you gave me the Live Nation Connect, and we started getting live shows that way. And then I started doing the artist development, and you took me up on that offer. And you're the only person I do the services for anymore. Like I don't like doing it for artists because, like you said, they're never satisfied. But when I go through you, we have a great network like DZ.
And I'll explain to the people at home this. We're always satisfied because I've worked with you so much. I understand what you can and can't do. So therefore, depending on the artist's goals, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to PR, when it comes to advertising, when it comes to placements, whatever it might be, then I figure out who I can pair you with. Now, I've paired you with many people like Matt Diamond, Conway from Mac Media Pro, Matt Diamond at Diamond 360, and most recently for international artists, International PR. Because you can't do it all like I can't do it all. So therefore, put all our heads together to render the best results. And people just hate fucking splitting up the pie. They feel like when they touch money, it's all their money. That's not how you win, man. If you're trying to beat someone for money, sure, take it all right here and now. If you're trying to make a career and live out to see your fucking latter years, you have to do righteous business.
Now, and you linked me up with Razkaz, and that just goes to show, like, we're not charging him for anything we're doing. We just want to see him win, and
it's awesome.
You know, because of that, we're all winning at the end. In the end, so that's what it's really all about to me. You do every Tuesday. You do the A&R clinic. What made you decide to get on these lives and give this free game? And what's one of the biggest compliments you've gotten so far from doing it?
Multifaceted. The first reason is because coming from the Midwest, we did not have these outlets. Like anytime, say like a Dame Dash or a Russell Simmons or Leah Cohen or Rick Rubin or a Common or whoever it was would come to town for a speaking engagement, you'd have to pay to see them speak. And then at the end, you could ask questions, you know, that kind of thing. So that's one, because we never had it. And now I can make sure people have it. I'm just trying to see how to get this light. Anyway, the second is so people understand that I'm accessible. Because again, the A&R and executive position is a background position. You know, I took, you know, more of a P. Diddy approach, and I'm saying that for his excellence as an executive, nothing to do with his personal life.
Right.
And that's when you, like, you know, P. Diddy was the first executive in Suge Knight that you really saw like out there. You know, like you knew who they were, you could identify with who they were. So I took the A&R role and brought it more to the forefront. So even though there's thousands of A&Rs, when people ask, like, yo, I need to be hooked up with an entertainment attorney or an A&R or blah, blah, an executive, my name comes up more times than not because I've promoted the shit out of my shit for so long. Right. And thank God I have the resume to back it up. The third reason I do the clinics, and I've done them for all these years, is because even though I do them for free, on average, I'll clear $1,000 to $3,000 within 3 hours of completing the clinic every Tuesday. For people that want to hit my DMs afterwards and pay me for consultations, for contract drafting and review, to broker a feature, to get pricing on an artist for a live event, to discuss A&R services, like it's like I've made up to I think $9,000 on a Tuesday immediately thereafter from the free seminar. People just need to know that people like me exist, and they never know unless you really put your shit out there like that.
Now, you recently broke the internet April 10th. You made a major announcement for all us hip hop heads. Let's get into it a little bit, and I want you to go into what it took to get this done, because I've watched the story for a while now. So the announcement, and how did you get it to go come to life? Is the announcement Rakim? Yeah. Yes. Okay. You know, I got lots of announcements. That's right. I'm sorry. You do so much for the Rakim announcement. During the pandemic, we signed a deal with Fat Beats for essentially an EP that would consist of 4 new songs and like 3 remixes.
Now, I got Rakim double the money that they asked for. So I was very, pat myself on the back. Cool. Just like he didn't do it. Like the song, like we figured it was going to come together very quickly. And Rakim is so like old school that, like DJ Premier has to come to me. This Pete Rock has to come to me. So, people have their own schedules. Like I remember he was working well with Premier, and then like his mom passed, rest in peace. And then they didn't work for a while. So he clicked up with Jazzy Jeff, and they've been working very well together, and they've been touring together. And so there will be a future Rakim and Jazzy Jeff album. This is not that. This is essentially a Rakim and Friends like EP I'm doing, but this is the first ever fully produced Rakim project. Rakim made all the beats. Rakim's featured heavily throughout. I have a song on there that I know if I really put my all into it, which I will. Like I'm sparing no expense. This is definitely not about making money for me. Like even if I break even, that'd be a humongous win. That's my goal, just to break even. But we have a record on there with Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace, with Snoop, with Planet Asia, with an entire 4-string violin quartet with a full 10-person singing choir. It's a big fucking record. Other features on the project include Corrupted Master Killer. We're shooting a video for that middle of May. Method Man, Prodigy, DMX, Fred the Godson. There's a lot of decedents on the project. It's kind of crazy to think about it like that. It's big. It's just 7 tracks. Everything's around the sign of 7. It drops in July the 7th month. Rakim's the God MC, sign of 7. It's called Rebirth. That's 7 letters. That's what it's all about. And it's Rakim's first new product in 15 years. And I'm just, looking to shock the world, dude. I think it's awesome that, I really stuck with it. There was a time where I offered him $100,000 just so we could finish the Fat Beats deal on time, but Fat Beats was sold, and then they ended up giving them the advance money back and getting that deal. And when they finish the Jazzy Jeff shit, they'll go shop it around, and that'll be big money. But I ended up giving Rakim my Aston Martin, which I bought for me. And his manager's like, "You own it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I own it." He's like, "So what are your monthly payments?" I'm like, "0. I own it." Like he's like, "You just bought this." I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Can we get the Maybach?" I'm like, "No, this is my bitch. The Maybach's staying here." The Aston Martin got the shit done. And for all the people at home, me and Anno are also dropping a Rakim Beats and Features pack. So you at home finally, and this applies to every rapper in the world or MC in the world, can finally have your own song with Rakim that you can use for your album, your EP, whatever, on a Rakim beat or on one of your own productions, whatever it is. So we are truly blessing hip hop. This is another example. This is the Guinness World Record shit. We are adding on to the culture in a serious way because I know, because I'm involved in the business, Rakim's last 3 or 4 features totaled over $250,000. And now for the pack starting at $200, you can, essentially save 100 G's. Yeah. So that's
now. Let's speak about the packs. We'll end with this because I think it's very important that we give your viewpoint on this. You've helped a lot of artists with these features that sometimes there's pushback about they're not the real song, but I see it as you get a chance to be on a song with a legend and start building your fan base and start getting people to see you in that same light. But from your viewpoint, what made you and Anno start doing this, and how great does it feel to know you've changed all these artists' lives because of these feature packs you're doing?
There's only 2 types of people that nitpick. And I don't even talk shit back to the first kind. The first kind is the purist. I respect the art form. If it wasn't done for this person, I get that argument, and you can't argue against it. There's purists that exist. I work with some artists that are like, I don't ever want to be part of your license catalog. Okay. If you tell me you never want to be part of it, you'll never be part of it. And I respect that. Now, the other people are the I've been working so hard my whole life and my career never took off. And now I'm seeing everyone around me make money, take off, avail themselves of all these opportunities. Those people can suck it. Those people are just talking to talk to anyone that's willing to fucking listen. They're nobodies. Literally nobodies. Because I work in the industry, I can literally check these people's incomes and streaming counts and fucking all that shit. I'm this dude was hating on me so hard. His last album made $210. Congrats, bro. You can't afford the pack. So that kind of shit. Now,
I came up with the idea after Wu-Tang Indie Culture in '05 because I started getting so much opportunity and working with so many artists, and I was doing the admin. So I'm writing the contracts and learning from my law degree what rights are really associated to these acquisitions I'm doing. Now, Anno had already invented production licensing. He is the inventor of that shit. I don't care what anyone says about anything. Like, everyone got that from him. No one was licensing beats and leasing beats before Anno dominated. It was just exclusives or nothing. Anno created a lane where you didn't have to steal shit. Yeah, you don't have to rip beats off YouTube. You have $20, you can license the shit. You have $50, you can get it with the stems. You have $5,000, you can get the exclusive. Like, we're catering. That's why Anno makes money like fucking, I don't know about, like Timberland and Pharrell and them, but he makes bread, like, because we don't discriminate against any clients. Like, we can cater to the $20 people, we can cater to the $5,000 people. So the point is, if I can pay, say, Snoop $100,000 for a fucking verse, if I can pay this dude 10 G's, if I can pay that guy 5 G's, and I'm getting licensing rights, then I can, essentially help the client that always wanted to work with Lil Wayne. Like, I don't own everything myself. I have third-party affiliates that own catalogs too, and they got the ideas from me. And I will give them the paperwork so they can get the shit done and make sure that it's all legal with the transfers and stuff. In fact, I told Anno about a week ago, now that Instagram allows you to put all those hyperlinks in your bio, it used to just be one. I'm going to create a link for the download template for guest artist features. So any artist that ever wants to get a feature from any rapper, before you pay them, get them to sign that document. Then if you ever want to sell me your song, like, hey man, it's not making any money anymore, I'll sell you the stems. Cool. As long as you have that piece of paper signed, I know it's it's official because I made it as the inventor. So I don't have to worry about, like, someone tried to sell me a joint recently that was with Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube, but their paperwork did not allot for the licensing rights and assignment and transfer rights. I'm like, I'm sorry, you might have their signatures on a different piece of paper, but without those specific rights, I can't legally and lawfully do what I need to do with it. So therefore, no. I would have loved to have an extra Snoop verse, extra Ice Cube verse. But the whole point was helping people work with those they want to work with within their budgets. Now, we can't, like, say I got a Wayne verse and it's $7,000 and you're like, I got $500. I can't help you. I'm sorry. But at least that $7,500 is more attainable than, say, $150,000.
Facts. Yeah, because they don't realize how much that real verse would be. Yeah.
Correct. And then, when we invented the packs, now the packs came off of an idea we did in 2014 or 2013 with Chino XL. He was like the guinea pig, essentially. Chino, if you bought a verse from Chino from the sale, you'd get beats. So that was the beats and feature pack, and it was just him. Then from there, other people that are affiliated with ANO, like Legion Beats and Wishmaster, took from our example. I think Wishmaster did it with Chris Calico. Legion Beats started to do it directly with ANO, but we were the predecessors for that. Now you got DJ Flip and Temper and all these people and Big Shot Beats in Canada. So the people that come to me like Wishmaster, Legion Beats, and Big Shot Beats all paid me in the past 3 weeks for packs they want to do, like, coming up. The only people that refuse to pay me that I'm going to eventually have that lawsuit against are Temper and Flip. They don't understand. They're like, well, we're going to work together. We don't need you to broker our features, so we don't have to pay you. I'm like, you're not getting it. You can work with whoever you want. I own the intellectual property. I own the service marks, the word marks, the trademarks. If you're doing anything in the realm of selling beats and features together, even if, let's say, Black Milk or fucking name any producer rapper wanted to do this, they would have to pay me. That's it. It doesn't matter. I'm not hating on any specific person. Anyone that wants to do it has to pay me for the legal, like, retention of the intellectual property to do this. So yeah, it's like, I built Temper's company for 3 years. For him to turn on me is like, okay, buddy, good for you. Like, they will lose every dollar they're ever gonna make to me when we do take that shit to court. I got other cases and shit going on right now that it's like, I don't need anything more on my table. Like, I got just enough that allows me to focus on that shit, get it done, focus on my family. I'm a dad now, and continue to make these amazing records. And that's the difference between me and everyone else. If I didn't do the licensing, if I didn't do the beats and features packs, I'd still be M80 the A&R extraordinaire. I'd still be M80 the successful rap artist. I'd still be M80 the successful events promoter. These people are looking at it strictly for a cash come up and don't understand, like, bro, you don't want to just be that guy. Like, no one at the end of my life when I've passed is going to be like, he was the licensing guy. They're going to look at me for the totality of everything I did. These people are really literally like throwing their whole shit away. Like DJ Flip was kind of like a poppin' DJ or producer before all this. Now it's just like you're like an extension of M80's nutsack. Like that's what you want to be.
I know you're a busy person, so I think this is a great time, come to the end of this. But for people who want to reach out to you, they want to get you as an A&R, they want to talk to you consulting or any of that stuff. What's the best way to reach out to you?
almitym80@gmail.com. I still have a 317 number. It's the same since I was 16. I'm 42 going on 43. Instagram, almitym80. Facebook, Matthew Markoff. It is me that checks all the shits. So tap in, get with me, and I'm very appreciative for the time.
Definitely. And then I know you are a father now. So how are you balancing being, in the entertainment industry and being a father and having this family life now?
I got 3 rotating nannies. It's pretty awesome.
Okay.
I do a lot of like when I was an artist, as an artist, I was most creative at the vulnerable hours, like, 11 p.m. to 6 in the morning kind of shit. So I gotta, I take more naps than consistent sleep now. I'm trying to just be a healthier human being, even though I still smoke. Like, but I got to figure out when and how to get the work in and not overwhelm myself by taking on too much at any one time.
Yeah. And then last thing is you are an amazing hip hop memorabilia person. Do you think you have the best collection, or what's one of the rarest plaques or something you have?
The best collection, even though I beat him in a memorabilia battle, I only won because it was like 10 rounds. So I had 10 really cool things. But the best hip hop memorabilia collection in the world belongs to the Rap Museum on Instagram, the Rap Museum. Second best would probably be Trill. Trill is a record store, hip hop like museum in Phoenix, Arizona. It's fucking awesome if you've never been. Shout out to Chuck. Shout out to the Rap Museum as well. The Rap Museum's the guy. Like I've sold a lot of my shit since I'm moving. I'm kind of cleaning house. I've sold probably like 17 grand of my shit in the past week. Like that, I just know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like as I get more popular and more successful, that means there's more M80 plaques coming. So I need to make room for the like M80 plaques for the various artists, then versus just having like the Strange Music autograph T-shirt hanging up, or the Breaking Bad autograph fucking poster hanging up, or those are the kind of things I'm selling right now. Or like an Eminem plaque that was like presented to Shady Records. Like that's the kind of stuff I can let go right now to make room, knowing that I'm going to have many more accomplishments. I do expect the plaque to come for Rakim, of course.
Oh yeah, of course. And then we know you work with Snoop. We see all the rumblings. We're not going to get too much into it because I won't get nobody in trouble. But there's more plaques on the way, I guess is all I'm going to say. M80 is you got your hands in a lot of major stuff right now. So I salute you. And anything else you want to let people know before we get out of here?
Man, I'm just grateful. I'll tell you this at home, man. I'm grateful because I never gave up on myself. I never let anyone's opinion sway the direction I felt I should be moving in. And I hope that you at home, if you're listening, do the exact same. You have to follow your heart. You have to go through the trials and the tribulations. It's not all fucking clear skies and, sunny days. But sometimes, especially for me, the points where I felt like it was the end, like I need to quit, like there's no upside to this, were the best building blocks for me to continue and build greater things.
Definitely, man. Well, like I said, I really appreciate all your support all these years, M80. You've done a lot for me. You've made me a PR person. We gave me my first writer credits on the C Mob and Corrupt album. So I appreciate it. Anything I can do to help you, as always, man, just let me know.
Thank you, buddy.
Salute.
In fact, I'm going to call you as soon as I'm off.